This is one of the most important aspects of Facebook, in my opinion, because what's the most important thing when you're making money is get people to something live. Okay, one of my buddies and marketing friends, Mark Hoverson, he's like, live stuff always converts better. Like, just think about the Super Bowl. I mean, how many people do you know record the Super Bowl and watch it later? Now, there's a few diehard people that record it and watch it later. But what's more exciting, watching the Super Bowl live or watching the Super Bowl recorded? What's more exciting? What's more fun? You know? Yeah, live. I mean, typically you want to watch things live. Same with like even the 15K formula and some of these webinars that are going on. A lot of the times, if I don't make it live, sometimes I never even watch it. Isn't that interesting? Here's one of the coolest things ever you can do. Create an event, and if you have a lot of friends on Facebook, this actually works better. Invite your friends to it, and it can be a live training someone else is doing. Okay? This is one thing. Now, what's more advanced is you can do your own webinar and teach something you have learned. Now, this is going out of your comfort zone a little bit, but I'm going to tell you right now, even if you made a simple, I mean, is there something that you may have learned from this mastermind that you think may benefit someone else out there? Now, this is more for leaders. The advanced part, you know, obviously, is if you can grab one little tiny technique or thing you've learned. Did you know there's a lot of people that don't know how to even forward and mask a domain name? You know, there's just a whole bunch of cool little things, and you can even just make it a party type thing, you know. Hey, come hang out at this time, I'll give you a free training. And you can just give away one of our lead magnets on the webinar as a free training. You know, you can do a Google Hangout if you want, or you can do a live webinar. And there's some tools out there that are fairly cheap to do a live webinar. Like there's one called GVO. And if I were starting all over and I didn't have any money, I would just use my GVO webinar service for that kind of training because it has a chat box and also has a webcam, and that's all you really need. But anyway, I think for like a Hangout or Facebook type event, you can play around with Google Hangouts and things like that if you'd like. But it doesn't have to be long. It can be 15 minutes. You can literally just tell everyone, hey, we're doing a 15-minute, 100% coaching mastermind. If you've ever struggled on Facebook or trying to get leads online, show up to this Hangout or this webinar. We're going to keep it to 15 to 30 minutes, and I'm going to give you guys a free training just for showing up. You know, something like that, and then just do your quick little Google Hangout, tell someone a technique, maybe tell your story a little bit, and bam. You see what I'm saying? I mean, does that sound like a cool thing to give to your following, to your downline, to your followers on Facebook? Who here thinks that would show you more as a leader and probably gain more following? You know, even if it was just 15 minutes. A lot of people don't have a lot of time. You guys realize that? A lot of people don't have time. So even if you just branded it as a 15-minute and you get a free training out of it, you show up, and there's 3 free trainings you can give away, by the way. You don't have to tell them which one it is, but if they show up to the webinar, you can give them one of these free trainings. It's kind of funny, but yeah, it's something you can do. Okay, so anyway, that's just a quick marketing tip, and then I'm going to show you how to set up that event too. So let me go back up here. So how do you create the event and invite people to it, and then we'll get into the Q&A. Shouldn't take me too long. I'm just going to give you guys some resources. But basically, I opened up Safari. I don't know if this code works in Firefox or Google Chrome or not, but it works in Safari, so you can try it out in whatever one you want and just try it out anywhere. But the reason I opened Safari is because you're able to log into a separate Facebook, and this Facebook doesn't have as many friends, so I don't want it to get hung up. But anyway, you can, when you want to create an event, you can either type in events, and it's usually an app. Actually, the events, sometimes it doesn't show up on the search bar. Let me show you where to get it manually. Under apps, I actually learned this the other day. Under apps, when you click on home, and you click on apps, you click on more, you will see there's one called events. And if you want to make it a favorite, like I did right here, because mine shows up right here, but it doesn't normally show up right there. Okay, that's the key. So you can actually click on this little edit and then add it to your favorites so that it's on the sidebar. And there you go. And then once you have it on the right here under your favorites, it makes things a lot easier to find. And then you just click it. And here's how you do it. So you just basically click on create event, and then here's the event you can do. You could just, obviously name it whatever you want to name it. You can base it off of a webinar. Like there's a webinar that Erica Wilcox does on pinning your YouTube videos for the Daily Income Network system or EasyMM systems. And she does training every week on this. So, this is something I can invite people to if I want to. I'll show you this as an example. The power pinning your YouTube videos. So you could just take whatever webinar you're doing, name it, and then details. I always put the webinar registration details, and sometimes I forward something to it just so it's just in case you have a recording or whatever. A lot of times I'll forward a domain to this so that you can re-forward it to the recording later. Or you could just use the webinar registration link, however you want to do it. But I always, in the details and the where, I always put the link to the webinar or whatever event you're holding. Unless, there's one exception, unless you're inviting people to this webinar, like the one that we're on right now, you can invite guests here, but be very cautious because you want them to know who you are. Make sense? So you want to maybe ask them to email you or something for the webinar registration. So that way you at least know who they are, know that they're coming, know that they're interested, if you send them to something like the webinar we're doing right now. Okay? So that's a couple tips there. And you can also put the rest of the details of whatever the webinar is, which is fine, in the details. And I'm just going to grab this link, put it at the top just for time purposes. But yeah, again, you can forward something to that if you'd like. And I put it in both spots. Okay, and then right here, what time? So let's say we're doing it on which day? December 11th, which let's pick right here, December 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, does anyone know what the time zone is right here? I do believe this is your local time. So you may want to, yeah, right there. So So anyway, you want to make sure it's set to your local time, so then that way anyone who's viewing the event, it'll show their local time. So MST is my local time. So it's technically 6 p.m. MST. End time is 7, or you can even say 6:20. You know, if you want to make it a 20-minute, 30-minute webinar. Privacy, I'll make it public. And then I literally click on create. And that's how easy it is to create an event. So as soon as the event is created, as you can see it is, you want to add an image, and this is something that you can experiment with. I like to add an image of myself a lot of the times because then it's just branding me, looks a little bit better. So I could just choose a file and pick a picture of myself, or you can create an image specifically for this event if you'd like. It's really up to you. But the more, and especially if I'm inviting people to a different event, not that I'm not hosting, I want to have my branding as much as I possibly can. Does that make sense? And keep in mind, no one else has your picture. You know, you're the only one with your picture, so it's not going to be, you know, plastered all over the internet with the same picture if a bunch of people are inviting to the same event. Okay, so that's what I like to do. And then I have my picture, I have the event. Now, am I going to invite to this event? You know, probably not, because it's a team-only event for members. I'm just giving you guys an example of how to create an event. Does that make sense? So I'm not really actually going to invite to this event, but I'm just showing you how to do it if you did your own. Okay, so that's how I do it. And then the last thing is you invite your friends. And this is very, very vitally important that you understand this. Okay, when you open up the invite box, it technically doesn't show all your friends. As you can see, it only shows a few of your friends. You have to actually scroll down, and then it gets smaller and smaller. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom. And then as soon as you scroll to the bottom, then once you see the Z's, then all your friends show up. So there you go. So now all my friends are showing. Okay? And then you're going to use what I call the magic script, because one of the most pain in the butt things is clicking each and every one by one. Would you guys agree? Trying to invite each and every friend. That's probably why a lot of people don't invite their friends to these events, because you have to click each and every one. Okay? But here is a magical script that you can put in your browser, and you push enter, and let me show you where you do that. So you go up to where you put www in and all that stuff, you know, the actual bar, okay? And yeah, especially if you have 3,000 of them. And you delete everything. So the step one is you go to where you put like HTTP, wwws, and delete everything first. And then you paste the magical script, and then you click enter. Now, here's the thing. This is why I use a separate browser. This is why I use Safari, which is a completely different browser that I don't normally choose. Sometimes it takes a long time to check all my friends, but because I use this account, it went fairly quickly, didn't it? That was pretty dang quick. You see how it checked everybody? So if you have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 friends, though, sometimes it takes a lot longer, okay? But here's one thing I want you to do, and this is vitally important. Uncheck a few people, like 3 or 4 or 5 people. I'll say just 5 random people. Uncheck them. Now, why do I say this? Well, I don't know how Facebook works, but in my opinion, if you invite every single friend, they might think it's some kind of bot. So if you just randomly select a few people and just uncheck them, then you're safe. Maybe 5 people or whatever. Does that make sense, everybody? Then at least you know that it's not automatic. At least then they know that you're not checking every single person. And then as soon as you've done that, you literally click save, and it shoots them over an invite to this event. And then later on, sometimes it shows up, but sometimes it doesn't. It says message friends, and if you can't message your friends, it's not a big deal. But you did your part in inviting them to your event. Now, I'm not going to invite again to this event, but I'm just showing you exactly how to do that. So does everyone understand? So let me just recap. You create the event, brand it to you, then you invite all your friends with what I call the magical script. I use a separate browser because sometimes it takes forever to load. Okay? And how you use the magical script is you delete everything out of, so once the invite box is open, once it's open and you've scrolled all the way down, that's important. Okay? You delete everything out of the URL bar, you paste the magical script, and you press enter. And that is how you select all your friends, you save it, and it'll take a little while to send them all out because it sends the invite, one by one to all your friends. And that's how you get a lot of people to your events. Did you guys know when I first started in this industry, Mark Hoverson told me to do a paid webinar, and I did. I did a Facebook training webinar, and I charged, I believe, $17 or something. I don't remember what it was, okay? I charged some money for it, and all I did was invite my Facebook friends, and I made over $700 on that webinar just for getting people on that webinar. Is $700 a life-changing income? No, but it was really cool just to see the power of inviting people from your social media network. I made over $700 off of a $17 product, $17 webinar. So it definitely works, and this can dramatically increase your, number one, your branding, number two, your results. You will get, it's a little bit more hands-on and in your face. You're inviting people, but I think it's worth it. You guys think it's worth it? To make some money this month, to really be a little bit more proactive on your marketing. All right, cool. So yeah, it might take you out of your comfort zone, and again, I highly recommend you do your own webinar if you can. If not, then that's no big deal. But hopefully you got some value from that tip, and we're going to cover a little bit more on this in the future. But yeah, there's just the last thing is right before your event starts, you want to go here where it has this little gear and message the guests, because then this allows you to select the guests and just say, hey, our webinar's starting, type thing. You can share it on your wall. You can promote it on Facebook ads if you'd like. I actually did that. I don't think I got the greatest results from promoting it on Facebook ads, but but yeah, that's an option if you want. But anyway, that's pretty much, you can add hosts and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, my friends, that's today's marketing tips. Let me cancel this event because I don't really want everybody going to a members only training. But there you have it. So I think that went well, a lot better than the last time we covered it, because last time my tool asked for payment. And I was like, oh man, perfect timing on that, huh? So I found a better way, a better script. So if you guys would like the script, let me just paste it in the chat area. Put it in a notepad somewhere and keep it, for future. And I'll put it underneath the video training. Does that sound good? So in the back office under the prosperity site, I'll put it underneath the training. And if Jerry ever puts this training up as one of his marketing tips, we'll put it under that as well, just so we can make sure everybody has this script. Okay, and again, I use Safari. I think it works the best because it's a separate browser that doesn't bog down the rest of what I'm doing. Because I've actually done this in Firefox and a couple other places, and then I'm like sitting there, like while it's going, I could be doing something else, and I can't because my whole browser's frozen, while that script's going. And yeah, you can get Safari for Windows. You just type in Safari in Google, and you can download it for free, just like Firefox and all that. I just use it as like one of those browsers for things like that I don't really need my other browsers for. I never really use it for anything else though. All right, so anyway, and feel free to try it in Firefox and those other ones if it works there, then great. If not, then use Safari. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into the Q&A, and then we'll answer some of those. And this was actually a question I got in an email, not in the question area. So let's cover this real quick. And I like this question. It kind of pertains to what we do here. I know you're busy, so I'll keep this short. If you had to start all over and know what you know and have learned over the past few years, where would you start to get in a home-based business started? And you know what's beautiful about my mastermind, guys? I teach exactly what I would do if I had to start all over. You know why? It's exactly what I did do. Like, I started getting results when I started doing social media and doing the stuff I teach you right here in this step. The marketing daily step is what I started doing to get results. Then I started having a little bit of results. And then I started doing, obviously I did videos before I did social media technically. I started doing videos and blogging, but then I was using blogging on the wrong platforms, which got deleted. I did blogging on blogger.com and I did blogging on wordpress.com. And I got both of those blogs deleted because they didn't like home-based business stuff. So I learned my lesson quickly. And what's beautiful is because I know that now, guess where I'd start? With a WordPress blog, right? A WordPress.org blog or Empower Network blog, right? So I've gone through a lot of pitfalls. I've gone through a lot of things in the past that I have that knowledge now. And what I'm doing now is saving you from those pitfalls. So I think it was Chris Record that said, you either learn from your mistakes or from your mentors, right? So why not learn from your mentor versus your mistakes? Mistakes are good to learn from, but why not learn from other people's mistakes? Yeah, mistakes cost you a lot more money, and it cost me a lot more money. Okay, I went through a lot of mistakes. So if I were to start all over again, I would create videos. I would do webinars. I would hold Facebook events. I would build up my social media. I would chat with these people on a day-to-day basis while I was getting started until I was making the money I wanted to make. And then I would, replace chatting with like solo ads and banner ads, and things like that once I'm making a decent income. But I did all this stuff to get me the results I needed. I would go to a Think and Grow Rich call that we have every single day. I didn't have the Think and Grow Rich call when I started, and it's changed my life. And And those of you who are on the call today, apologize I didn't come out. I actually listened to the recording today right after the call because I was a little busy with kids and things this early morning. We had a bunch of kids wake up early and things like that. So I didn't get on the call during the live call, and then it was funny because I listened to the recording and I'm like, oh man, he called me out. That was funny. So perfect time to not go to it live, huh? But it's a very, very important call for me, and I get on it no matter what. I either listen to it live or I listen to it recording, and that's the power of it. So, and I am committed to that call. So I would do that, and I would blog every single day and create content every single day. So that is what I would do if I had to start all over. And then as soon as I made money, I would put that money into marketing. So I don't know if you're on the webinar who asked this question, but basically that would be the reply I'd give back to that person. Okay, so anyway, this is a question from yesterday. I still don't know what that one meant. Okay, I'm meeting a lot of international prospects who cannot do EasyMM system. Is there another funnel that we can use for them where they can still have front end offer? For the Easy Money system, right now it does not have an international based product. We're looking into our third offer that we're doing, the lead gen offer. They do have a paid method of getting in on that one, so we're looking into seeing if they can pay out people internationally, and if so, I'll let everybody know. But just so you know, this is just on a personal level, we're also going to be integrating a prosperity triangle system in the future in January and beyond. And that will have a front end offer of the 7-minute workout, which is just a workout system, which is international. So I don't know, obviously it's not in place, but just giving you guys a heads up, those of you who have international folks that really want to plug into something, that may be the funnel you want to introduce them to. But either way, we're going to have something that you can focus on no matter what you want to lead with. Something I learned about internet marketing a long time ago, and this has kind of been on my mind, and it might be a something that you can consider for the future in your marketing efforts, and it might be a video I do for one of the blog themes one of these days, is the fact that internet marketing is a different ballgame when it comes to lead generation, because sometimes something gets old in internet land. Would you guys agree? And I'm not gonna lie here. Sometimes you'll be marketing one thing, and then all of a sudden, everyone gets immune to it. Whether it's saturated or not, I would never call it saturated because I don't believe in saturation. But sometimes the internet world is so small that it's not small. It's so big, but it can seem small. Does that make sense? It can seem small because we're all in the same networks and we can see everybody around. And I would never worry about saturation, but people do get immune to a message sometimes. So for example, when we first launched Empower Network, we were rocking it, and making a ton of sales every single day. And that was from our existing leads and our existing networks on social media. I'm not talking about cold traffic. You can always drive cold traffic to Empower and always be successful if you have money, okay? You can do that all day long and never have a problem. But here's what happens. If you're tapping into social media, you're tapping into your current list, eventually your current list gets immune to the same message. Does that make sense? They get immune to it. So then here's what we do. We create a different spin on things. So maybe we will create a different capture page. Then all of a sudden, now we're getting more opt-ins, and now we're getting more interested people. Then we create a new front-end offer and have the same end goal of getting them in Empower. And then all of a sudden, our system explodes again from the same list. Interesting, huh? So a lot of people think it's lack of focus when you create so many front-end offers. Like, oh, I just want to have one system, one offer, and it's the only thing I need to do. Focus, focus, focus. I'm here to tell you guys, one thing I've learned in internet marketing is you can't have that thinking. Like in offline marketing, that's fine. But here's the problem with thinking that way online is, again, people get immune to an offer. And if you create some type of different front end to get their attention, then all of a sudden your income and your numbers explode again. Now, here's what I suggest you guys do. Focus on one until you're getting results. And then once you've pretty much blasted the same message to your list a million times, then what do? Send a new message. Make sense? But have the same goal in mind. And then guess what happens? You get Empower sales. It's like magical, guys. I don't know if you guys see this, but our list, it grows daily, but we're getting people, like yesterday we sent out an email. I don't know what triggered this, but we had like 9 personal signups from our same list, guys. The same list we've been marketing to since, we launched Empower Network. You know what I mean? It was because we changed up our message. We didn't lead with anything else. We led with Empower, but we changed the message a little bit. So it's just one of those things. You've got to always be changing your message. Otherwise, people get immune to it. And that's why we have so many systems. You might be thinking, wow, these guys are crazy creating a new system every couple of months. And it's not because we're sidetracked or not focused. It's just because it works. And some people may say it doesn't work, but who here thinks that it does work just from seeing some of the results that some of the members of our team are having? Just some of the daily signups that we're getting. It obviously works. There'll be gurus out there that tell you it doesn't work. I can promise you this. Even David Wood would probably tell you that it doesn't work. Or Tony Rush will probably say, oh, that doesn't work. I don't think you should have a funded proposal for a $25 product. And there's always going to be gurus and leaders out there that tell you what we're doing is dumb. But then the bottom line is it works. And how it works, why we think it works, because we have seen it work in live, So anyway, meeting along. Okay, cool. So I know that was a long answer, but sometimes we go off on tangents on some of these things. All right, is there any benefit to creating short videos promoting blog posts from the past on YouTube, even ones 2 or 3 months old, or just start from today and move forward? This is actually a good question, because I think it's beneficial to create short videos for sure, even on past blog posts, like you said. Like, for example, if I went to one of my blog posts that maybe I just never promoted very much, which is actually quite a few. In the past, I did a blog post and I never really maybe emailed it out. Just a quick, it was funny because this Habit Forge one, I have to laugh because I bought it and I recommended it on the blog and I emailed it out, right? And they sent me an email like, what's your address so we can send you a check? And then I send them my address and they're like, all right, we'll send you a check for, I don't know, it was like $100 or something small, And they're like, but it's not going to update in the back office because we got to get some programmers to program that feature to track affiliate sales. Because to be honest, you're the first person we've ever had to pay, and I was just like laughing, I'm like, that's funny. But I guess they don't sell a lot of products or something with affiliates in that on that tool. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a funny story. But yeah, so if I wanted to blast that out to people, again, I can do a quick video and promote that blog post. I can do quick videos. Like, let's say you, on your daily action plan, you said, okay, I want to do 3 videos a day. So you can do a video on 3 different blog posts you've done in the past and just promote them out there on the search engines. Because if you think about it, if your goal is the search engine ranking and you do videos, it really doesn't matter how many you do in a day, does it? Because you're not going to be blasting it out to your following. You're just going to do it for search engines. I mean, you might eventually want to blast it to your following, but just a quick heads up. So yeah, that's definitely a great idea. Definitely promote for sure. Okay, I've been having trouble sending my blog post in GVO, trying to send YouTube video as a picture. Okay, so this is basically having a picture issue. So you want like a video email type of deal. And let me answer this question first. Right here, my messages also get 0.10 spam rating as well. So just so you know, that's normal for me as well. It's not going to be bad unless this is like 2 or 3 or 1. You know, I think if this is 1 to 3 or something, that's bad. But the fact that it's 0.10, you are 100% good. Okay, so I wouldn't worry about this spam rating. It will only start being an issue if this is like 2 or 3. Probably 1 is probably, you want to stay under 1 is what I'm thinking. Okay. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that spam rating. So let me cover this video email question. We have a few questions left we'll cover tomorrow. But I want to cover how to do this video email. Basically what he's asking is how do you get a YouTube video as a picture on an email linking to your blog, kind of like what Justin Brenji does. And basically what he's talking about is a video email. How do you do a video email? Well, there's services out there you can pay for to do it, which you don't need to. Joel Tarian's coming out with a service that does video email as well, which is actually going to be blow all the other ones out of the water. That one's coming soon, so that'll be cool. But here is how you do it, though. So first of all, you need to have an image ready. And one of the things you can do if you want to make it look like a video email, like Justin does, you know how he has a picture of a video, you can go to one of your videos. So let's say I want this as my email today. Number one, you got to screenshot it. But let me go to the actual email so I can show you where I upload. And I don't remember if GVO asked for an upload or if they asked for a URL, so I'm just going to go in there real quick. So you go to your messages, you go to send broadcast, choose your list you want to send to, and then there's 2 messages. There's text message and HTML. The only one you can put images in is HTML. Text won't work. This is all 100% text. So let's say you wanted to add an image. So let's say you're like, listen to the video below on how you can rid yourself of the middle class mindset or something. I'll probably write more than that, obviously, but I'm showing an example. So then you put the next line, then you choose the image button, and it asks for a URL. So as you can see, it asks for a URL. So you need to actually have the image uploaded somewhere. So you can upload it to your Empower blog. It doesn't matter where you upload it. You can upload the image anywhere you want for this purpose. Okay? But for me, I like Screencast the best because this is how I can do it. With this little cool program called Jing, I just choose the little button. I grab the video right here, and then I choose Capture an Image. And you can write stuff on it if you want. Or just save it. Class mindset. Now I'm going to upload it to Screencast because that's the fastest way, or I can save it and then upload it to my blog. However you want to do it, but I just make my life easier. Upload it to Screencast, and I'm not really having to upload it anywhere else. Click View on Screencast, and then I always click on the actual image. So right here, I'll click on it, and that'll take me to the image URL. So this big long URL at the top. I take that, I throw it into here, middle class mindset. I'll just put it in 2 spots and insert. And there we go. So, you know, I have my text, and then then basically now it's just an image in my email. So I just click on the image, and then I choose a little link button. So there's a link button, and then I just link that to wherever I want them to go. So wherever the blog post, or if you want to send them to the video, that's fine. You can send them to the video, but I would suggest your blog post that has the video on it. I don't have that up yet. So right there, and then target blank just opens in a new window, and then insert. And that's it. So now you have an image in your email that clicks over to your blog post, and it looks like a video, doesn't it? So that's a video email, if you think about it. And because you'll never, just so you know how video emails work, is there's no real such thing as a video email. You cannot play a video via email. It's impossible. Unless there's an email provider out there that allows streaming video in their emails, and I don't know of it. Okay? The only way to do a video email is to have an image that looks like a video that links to a website that has the video on it. So it's kind of deceiving in a way when they call it the video emails. And there's no possible way to actually play the video inside of the email. It always links out. Like you'll notice it looks like a video, but anytime you click play, it always links to a new page. Have you noticed that? Go to any video email you've ever received, click on the play button. It always opens up in a new window. Always. So that's one thing right there. Now here's the next thing is this will go to spam folder a lot easier with images in your. The more HTML you use, the more chances of it hitting the spam filter. But you know, I wouldn't worry about that. It's not that big a deal. I think people overcomplicate it on that as well. Play video and live. Yeah, I mean Hotmail might do it. I don't know, but you'd have to have a certain provider that can actually play a video inside the email, but most video email services open in a new window. That's just how they work. You may be deceived on thinking it's playing in the email, but it's not. It's usually almost 100% of the time, you click on the link, it opens in a new window. It may just be the video, but yeah, it's technically just an image. You know what I mean? So go check it out for yourself. Like, go to every video email you've ever received, click play, and see if it works. But anyway, with that, that's the last question that we'll cover today. I appreciate you all for coming here, and I do suggest you do little things like this too, because it makes your email stand out a little bit more. I think today I'll do the same thing. I'll just leave this up. I'm going to write my email, and I'm going to have this video right here that clicks out to my link. So let's go ahead and since I already have it open, I'll just kind of leave it there and make it happen. So with that, make it a great day. We will cover the rest of the questions tomorrow. And I appreciate you all for coming here today. Go take action. Let me give everyone the assignment link one last time. Right there. Make a commitment to yourself to take action on this. Don't have that middle class mindset. Watch my wife's first video ever online. I don't know if it was the first video, but I think it was. And you can go thank her on the Facebook groups or whatever if you really like the video. And anyway, make it a great day, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to go to the mindset call because we are starting the book Think and Grow Rich all over again. Today was our introduction, and tomorrow we're getting right into the content. So see you guys tomorrow.